If you have found yourself in this mental spiral of nothing matters, I hate everything, why am I in this timeline, why is the world like this, you're not crazy. But you're also not meant to stay in that energy by no means, because where does that get us? Someone give me a good answer. Where does that energy get us? Oh, into an even worse spiral downwards? Exactly. With the Aries Stellium happening at the time you're watching this video, alongside Uranus moving into Gemini this month, you're not being asked to heal anymore and reflect on the state of the world. You are being told to act. Hola, my beautiful dreamers. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Marisa LaBlue, and I merge everything cosmic advice with everything self-development to become our dream selves every day. If that sounds like something you're interested in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. That way you don't miss future videos like this one. You can also follow me on social media for more background, lifestyle, and astrology content, as well as click the link below to download my free astrology cheat sheet, look at my other astrology guides that are available, or even book a one-on-one reading if you're interested. Today, I wanted to take a grounded, laid-back approach to talking about the Aries Stellium in 2026. There's a lot of fear and sensationalism around the stellium. Obviously, we love to sensationalize and we love to fearmonger, but that is not what we're doing today, okay? And if you want to wallow in negativity and have a negative view of the world and the current energies, this is not the video for you. You can click out right now. Bye-bye. So if you've been feeling hopeless and you need a little kick in the butt, this is the astrology video for you. First, let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the sky right now. At the time that you're watching this, we currently have the Sun, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron in Aries. This is after experiencing some stelliums in Pisces, as well as the end of Pisces season. There was so much Neptunian energy going on before this, and to compare the two energies, Pisces is like a fog of illusions. It's kind of where we go when we want to hide, when we want to escape, when the reality can't quite be handled at full capacity. Pisces tends to soften the reality by adding mysticism and a fog to it. And even though that serves its own purpose and it can have its own beautiful energy, we were definitely drowning in a nihilistic Pisces point of view. And even though this was necessary, because as the veils of the world started to get removed in the last, I would say, since 2020, especially at like hyperspeed at a whole new level in the last like year, the veil, which Neptune represents the veil, really started to get removed and yanked off of so many things that we used to escape into, things that we found comfort in, nostalgia in. It's like the veil of comfort that was laid over them all got ripped off, and we saw the ugly truth and the shadows behind a lot of the things that we found comfort and light in, which is a painful realization to make. But it is one that garners deep inner reflection and reflection of our shadows. Hopefully, if you were feeling that energy at all during the last season, you did some deep reflection and you kind of found where some of your own shadows were coming to the light and the veil was kind of being ripped off of your own shadows that you've been suppressing or hiding. Maybe you've been using things to escape that you could no longer use to escape, because escaping into those things actually only reminded you of the shadow even more. To kind of put this into perspective, for example, we've been having a lot of celebrity activity come to light, right? Celebrities that we loved growing up, that we loved their music, that made us feel happy and safe and whatever. A lot of them have come to light in some of the worst ways, right? So when I say maybe the things you used for comfort to escape into and allowed you to kind of suppress some of your shadows or hide them or sweep them back under the rug, some of that was removed for you, which is really hard because the things that we want to use to escape and find comfort, once they're ripped from underneath us without our consent, that is a really difficult shadow to face. Like all the things coming to light about Katy Perry, for example. But you loved Katy Perry's music growing up. You have a lot of nostalgic memories with it. You have a lot of things that made you so happy around it. And now when it comes on, you can't escape into it. Because when her music comes on, you're just reminded of the fact that she's not a good person in the worst ways. So now her music doesn't provide that comfort. So it's like, where do we go to land on the fluffy cloud of escapism, right? But actually, The purpose of these veils being lifted is because it's time for us to be aggressively launched off of the cloud of escapism, out of the fog and back into reality. Because when we look at Pisces versus Aries, we're exiting the last sign of the zodiac and entering the first sign of the zodiac wheel. So Pisces represents endings, and then Aries represents beginnings. You can see this in springtime when everything is blooming. That is essentially the Aries energy. After we have gone into deep reflection and gone inwards during the winter, we enter into spring, in which everything comes anew. All of that deep inner work turns into what will blossom outwards, which is what Aries represents. When we're moving out of such heavy Neptunian Pisces energy and into the energy of Aries, we're being launched. When I say launched, I mean like we were on a cloud and the cloud dissipated without our consent, without any warning, and now we have been falling. This nihilistic state we've been in is like we're falling rapidly back down to earth, because Aries is when we land back on the ground. Aries represents step one in reality. So it's like the moment that you were born. Aries rules of the first house, which is the moment you're born and the moment you come into this world. Because Aries is our first step on actual ground in reality, they are known as the initiators and the trailblazers for that reason. They hit the ground running, essentially, ready to build something, ready to do something, ready to act on something. If you know any Aries personally, then you know they're the type that whatever comes to mind comes out to mouth and straight through action in a split second. Most of them are not filtering themselves. Most of them are ready to hit the ground running. Whereas an energy like Pisces does a lot more reflection. There's things that maybe build up a lot more, things that they hide a lot more, or they're just a bit more slow in the way that they choose to approach things, which can be very wise. You know, that's a kind of wisdom that Pisces can hold that Aries doesn't always hold. However, both energies serve a purpose, and this is Aries' purpose ultimately. Aries is the type that snaps you out of it. They shake you and say, stop feeling sorry for yourself. This is what we're doing about it. And I don't care if you're scared. I don't care if you feel like it's impulsive or reckless. We're doing it. Granted, I'm not saying to be impulsive or reckless, but I'm saying that that type of energy that shakes us out of our escapism and our nihilism is very much necessary for us to start acting, to start actually moving in a direction rather than just sitting in that vegetative state that no longer serves us and only makes us more stagnant and sad as time goes on. And now you're probably asking yourself, that's great, Marissa, but what do I do with this energy? Well, you yourself are the only one that knows your own journey. You're the only one that knows where you're at mentally, physically, emotionally. So I can only provide you so much advice. But if I had to provide you some general advice of what I'm picking up on from this energy, this is what it would be. Number one is that it is time to not just sit on your dreams, to sit on your thoughts, your emotions, whatever it is time to move and to actually act. Again, we're bringing the clouds into reality. We are no longer just sitting on the clouds and floating on them and hiding in them. We are bringing them down and laying the groundwork and trailblazing according to whatever that means for us. This doesn't have to mean that you are necessarily building a business or doing something crazy, because our dreams look so different. The dream that you have for yourself is maybe that you just want to feel something again. You just want to feel happy again. What do you need to do to start making that happen? Because chances are that you haven't actually tried any of the things that you want to try to start bringing happiness and gratitude back into your everyday life. Something I've done recently is picked up Animal Crossing again, which has been so nice because I tend to, probably like a lot of us, get stuck in a state of only doing things that serve a purpose, that are adult-like, responsible, etc. And I forget some of the things that make my inner child beam with life and really keep my spark alive. So picking up a very cozy game, because I used to be a huge cozy gamer back in the day. Why am I saying back in the day like I'm ancient? I used to be a big cozy gamer, right? And I put it down for so long, but actually it helps me wind down so much at night to play a very relaxing game, and it makes me happy. Speaking of that nihilistic state of mind, something that I've really struggled with recently, and I feel like a lot of us have been on this wavelength, is feeling guilty about doing anything with our day, with everything going on in the world. We feel guilty because how are we supposed to just go to work like it's a normal day? How are we supposed to just play a video game like it's a normal day? How are we supposed to do anything like it's a normal day when it is anything but normal? We are in a social, political climate that feels so far from normal, so far from humane, that it has caused us to hold a lot of guilt about the way that we're currently living our lives. If you're fortunate enough to even be watching this video, you've probably questioned why you're fortunate to watch this video. And for me, I definitely had probably like a month of breaking down and being like, I don't even want to post on social media. I don't even want to do this and that. I don't want to do that because I feel so guilty. I am just overridden with guilt, and I hate that this is the case, but this is the harsh truth. Yes, you are so fortunate if you have the peace and the resources to be watching this video right now and even speculating this right now. However, that is not to be taken for granted. The most powerful thing that you can do with that privilege or that luxury is to use it to become a better person, to value your life. It is up to us to help make the world a better place, even if that's just through us making ourselves a better person and allowing that to be a ripple effect in this very, very dark climate we are in. You feed the darkness by becoming one with the darkness and succumbing to it. But that is not what we're doing. And that is not what Aries is encouraging you to do. So bringing your dreams into reality can be something as small as just reigniting yourself in a way that makes you happy and brings you back down to earth in a healthy way and regrounds you in a healthy way. Chances are reality has slapped us, even punched us in the face, in the gut recently. Regrounding ourselves in the reality in a way that feels healing to you will be key, in my opinion, to using this energy positively in your own life. Second, kind of piggybacking off of my last point, is make the change you have been dying to make. There's a high chance that we've been stuck in a state of stagnation due to indecision. We can put ourselves in a suspended state of escapism when it comes to having heavy Pisces energy, especially when we feel eternally overwhelmed by the weight of the world. Our nervous systems are essentially being fried, okay? Fried. And there may be countless changes that you have wanted to make in your life, whether it's you're in a relationship that is not working. You're in an environment that is not working. You are in a state of mind that is not working. You want to get more fit. You want to move on and find a relationship or a life that's more aligned for you in some way. You must make those hard decisions. Nothing is going to change unless you change it. This is the self-starter energy of Aries really coming through at this time, especially because we have personal planets such as Mars and the Sun in Aries, but we also have these outer planets such as Saturn, Neptune in Aries, and it's really making us realize we need to come out of the fog ourselves as well. Because if you are launched out of your cloud, but then you're on Earth trying to continue to find the clouds and escape, you could be using your energy to actually find alignment and fulfillment again. Saturn in Aries provides a lot of trials because Saturn is the planet of tests and trials and tribulations, but they are all for your own good. And having this Aries stellium involving Saturn is challenging us that will you rise to the occasion? Will you make the changes that matter? Will you speak up for yourself? Will you advocate for your own life despite the trials and tribulations that are trying to keep you stuck? Because if you do, you find ultimate power, ultimate sovereignty within yourself, and no one can take that from you. Because of that self-starter Aries energy, it's telling you, it's reminding you that no one and nothing can take your self-advocacy from you, but you have to initiate your self-advocacy in your own life. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to come along and save you. It is something that you have to do no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's happening in your personal life. It starts with you. It truly starts with you. Third, I'm going to recommend that you bring yourself back into the body, however feels right for you. But when we're talking about Aries energy, there is a huge focus on the root and sacral chakra, which are the lower chakras more connected to our sensuality, to our ambition, to our animalistic nature. And when we were in Pisces energy so heavily, again, we're kind of drifting on these clouds. And a lot of times those clouds are taking us away from our body and we're getting stuck in potentially a psychosis of our own creation. And the specific way that we've kind of seen that psychosis play out is through online consumption, being forever online, consuming constantly, and again, frying our nervous system as well as our brain, and therefore frying our physical body as well. But Aries is the connection to the physical body. It is ruled by Mars, in which Mars is currently in Aries as well. So we have an amplification and an overemphasis on returning to the body. I know for myself, and this may not be the case for you, but for myself recently, this Mars and Aries energy has ignited me with an extreme desire to get moving. Because when we feel helpless and like we can't control anything, one of the things that brings us out of that state and helps keep us grounded and sane is actually igniting our body. Not just being too much in our mind and too much in our emotions, which are intangible things, but moving ourselves from the intangible, which is Neptune Pisces energy, back into the tangible, which is very much Aries energy in connection to the body. So reigniting your body and putting less fire into the mind. You can do so through walking every day. I know it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. I encourage you, maybe after breakfast or before breakfast, do 10 minutes of walking. And then after dinner, do 10 minutes of walking. 10 to 15 minutes at the beginning of your day, at the end of your day, because that helps reground you after a day that has made you whirl in whatever state. But not just walking and doing physical movement that reignites the body, especially mindful movement, but also doing things that remove you from online activity a bit. Any activities that keep you too far into the mind and in your emotions and in your nervous system in an unhealthy way need to be lessened, okay? Because what we're trying to do with this Aries Stellium is definitely recalibrate to the body. We have been so out of calibration, so out of whack with everything going on, and I'm sure you feel it on a physical level. I know I did. So I have been recalibrating through increasing my daily movement, especially through walking. I also haven't had a gym membership in a while because I don't like any of the gyms in my area, but what I've done instead is just done at-home 30-minute Pilates workouts, okay? And I'm somebody who tends to have an all or nothing mindset. I'm like, I can't just do Pilates. That's not gonna do what I want it to do, so I'm just not gonna do anything. No, I told myself to stop, because again, that's that all or nothing kind of nihilistic state of mind. And I was like, no, just do at least 20 to 30 minutes of Pilates, at least 3 times a week. Okay, and then the other days, you're walking. You're walking at least 5,000 to 7,000 steps a day, okay? And that is what I've been doing for the past like month and a half or so, and I feel such a huge difference, and it has regrounded me back into the physical in a way that I wasn't before, and it was definitely messing with me mentally. Because the thing is, on the internet, we really don't know what's real and what's not. Yes, there are things happening that are very much real, and we can't deny that. But there are a lot of speculative conversations that happen, a lot of arguing, and a lot of bots. There are a lot of fake accounts on the internet that people are arguing with. We're literally arguing with algorithms and robots, which is talk about psychosis once again. You need to remove that psychosis. You need to remove it, and you need to put yourself back in the body so that when you return to that internet space full of who knows what, you never know what you're going to see when you get on the internet. You are already grounded and in alignment with yourself. Again, this is returning to that confidence and the autonomy that Aries energy promotes. Aries energy right now is advocating for you to take the confident step, the confident move, without being entirely sure of what everything holds, because we're never sure. The idea that we can ever be sure we're making the right move, we're saying the right thing, is made up. We basically are always trying to weigh our options on a scale and see which one seems the most balanced and the most correct, but we never actually know what is and what isn't. Aries doesn't really think this way, and they just do. And one of the reasons is because of that connection to the body, the autonomy that they have with the body. So reconnect yourself. If you're somebody who thinks like walking and Pilates sounds boring, there are endless options to reignite yourself and your connection to your body. Maybe you can do like a dance tutorial on YouTube. And the reason I'm saying at home stuff or stuff that is free is because I know we're in kind of an economic crisis right now too. Things are very expensive. I'm feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. So doing things at home, you have many options because of the internet. Even though the internet can be a place of psychosis and mental spirals, it can also be a place of so much access that we've never had before that we can use productively and inspirationally. So look up dance tutorials, dance workouts, something. Ignite the root chakra and really reconnect to the body and watch your confidence increase and allow you to domino into becoming your dream self every day, whatever your dream self looks like for you. It starts with being grounded in the body. Don't forget to share below how the energy's been feeling for you, because I also love to talk to you guys about what you're experiencing and maybe even learn tips and tricks of my own from you guys. But until I see you next time, thank you so much for being here. I am forever grateful for you taking the time to hang out on my little corner of the internet. Until I see you next time, adios.